Hello again, WealthLab 8 users. Glitch here. Today, we're going to cover what's new in WealthLab 8 Build 65. So first of all, we had to release Build 65 a little bit prematurely before we were able to complete the documentation. So you won't find these features documented in the help yet, but that will be updated for the next build. And with that said, let's get into the first new feature, which is a new method in our C# coded strategy class, user strategy base. And the new method is called DrawHint. So the DrawHint method lets you draw a small glyph either above or below a bar on the chart. And then when you hover your mouse over that glyph, a pop-up text box will appear with some more lengthy text. So calling the method is simple enough. You just call DrawHint. Here you pass the text that you want to appear in that little glyph, and then you specify the text that you want to appear in the text box. You can separate this string with new line characters, \n, to separate that into multiple lines. You then give it the index of the bar number you want that glyph to appear. Here I'm saying the 10th bar from the last on the chart. The next parameter lets you have the glyph appear either above the bar or below the bar. And then you give it a color of the hint text, a color of the hint background, and there's a third optional parameter, which is the color of the text in the pop-up box. So with all of that said, let's just run this and take a quick look. So here we have our chart, and here we have our little hint that we plotted in our strategy. If I hover the mouse over it, we get our pop-up box. So another kind of cool thing you can do here is I'm going to search for Unicode special characters here in Google. So now I'll go to my Wikipedia and see a list of Unicode characters, because you can paste any character or characters into that hint. And I'm going to take a look for some stars. So let's see what kind of star characters we can get here. So this one looks cool. So all you need to do is just select that star, copy it, then go back to your code, and you could just paste it right here. And that little star appears. And then when I run my backtest again, my hint will appear with that lovely star as the hint text. So there you go, the DrawHint method in Build 65. Since we're speaking of hints, let's look at the next enhancement. I'm going to open up my MetaStrategy that I run every day to place my signals, and I'm going to run the strategy. And let's take a look at the positions. We'll bring the open positions to the top, and we have some old positions here in TQQQ. If I double click that, I see a bunch of entries and exits in my MetaStrategy for TQQQ. So previously, if you hovered over these arrows, you couldn't tell what strategy in the MetaStrategy that produced those trades, but now you can. You could see strategy 1% a week, and the exit was from 1% a week. Here we have another one from 1% a week. Here we have a different strategy, my TQQQ Hundo, which produced this trade. So you can now see which MetaStrategy components produced the trades on the chart by hovering over the arrows. And one more thing I want to talk about for Build 65. Let's create a rotation strategy. And normally you say, okay, I'll buy the 3 stocks in my list that have the lowest RSI or some indicator value. Well, you can now say, instead of going long, I want my rotation strategy to go short. So let's say I want to short the 3 stocks in my Dow 30. Well, let's change it to NASDAQ 100. We'll get a little bit more variety. I want to short the 3 stocks in the NASDAQ 100 that have the highest RSI on a RSI. Let's make it an RSI 4, a short-term RSI. All right, so let's run that. And I expect some losses because shorting the market is very difficult. And sure enough, so we've lost a total of 81,000. So I wonder what would have happened if we instead had shorted the ones with the lowest RSI, the ones that were already oversold. So we actually lost more. So we are better off shorting the ones that are overbought because they're more likely to come back to the mean. They're more likely to revert to the mean. But in general, shorting is very difficult. So good luck finding a profitable case of shorting in a rotation strategy. I don't know, maybe in some Forex pairs, could possibly work somehow. But it's now an available option by request. So that's it for Build 65. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you all on the forums.